Hello my friends and welcome to episode 19 of our Football Manager 2020 Let's Play. We're going to do the summer transfer window review today, where we've got something silly like 22 ins. I wasn't planning a big window, honestly. Either way, it's been a big window regardless. So on the outs we'll start with first Nathan Cooney away to Falkirk for 54k, rising to 69k. There is also a clause that's 50% of his next sell-on profit, so decent chance we could make that work for us. I felt Nathan wasn't going to get a lot of game time. Falkirk came in, and I just went, here, we'll have this amount, and I went, okay, thanks very much. That does me right very nicely. Then sold Jack McCourt, also going to Falkirk for 10k, and I think we've got a sell-on clause for him as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. Falkirk have been promoted last season, so they've also done back-to-back promotions. He played 46 games for us, scored 1 goal in the league. Pretty sure it was a big goal as well for a mind right, but I can't remember now. It was fairly solid, but I feel like we've outgrown him now. It was the right time to let Jack go. Tony Buchan, Dylan Easton, Gareth York, John Kidlin, all the way out on loan. Rico Katongo leaves. I sold him at a cut price deal. To be honest, we're even paying some of his wages, I think £55 a week or something like that. But it was some of his wages plus a tiny bit of money to get him off the wage bill. He was one of the higher earners from last season, and he didn't really play 2 league games. Tells you that it was probably not money well spent. He ended up being our third choice left back because we brought Liam Gibson in. At the time that we bought him, he was probably a bit of a panic buy. He had potential, he could have been a good defender for us, but it was the time just to get rid of him, cash in and move on. Another load of loans, is lots of people go out, excuse me for yawning. But the loan's really just cutting down the wage budget, getting people experience and whatnot. Now there'll be some names there that you don't recognise, but they're in the ins as sort of like players for the future, so I'll go through them in a minute. The big sort of loan out is John Kindlin. He has managed to get him Dumbarton, who are the league below us, League 1, still regarded as a League 2 defender, but if he goes and gets the game time in League 1, that will be absolutely outstanding. Has he actually played for them at all yet? He obviously had that knock. Played 2 in the cup, and then he's had that knock. So on the ends, we'll start with Jamie Burjonas. He ends in on a free transfer from our Rangers. Solid player. Obviously, you'll remember I have used him again in the past. Another player I've used in the past was very, very good for me at Hearts, if you remember correctly. A player that sort of turned that Hearts team around. Initially, I think it was him and D Gomez were my 2 big signings that took us from mid-table to champions. In a couple of seasons. We then brought in Scott Cruikshank. He was a free transfer from Celtic, and he is away out on loan to Peterhead straight off the bat. Peterhead in League 2, where he's currently at his level, but he's got 5-star potential. Very, very late. I really apologise for yawning. I don't normally record this late. We've got Danny Finlayson coming in on a free transfer as well, also from Rangers. That's going to be something you hear quite a lot. It's a free transfer from Rangers and Celtic, by the way. Had them very thoroughly scouted. Danny Finlayson's a defender that I've seen so many other people make work for them, and I have never made him work, and I kind of went, right, you know what, he's the right level for us right now, let's bring him in. I think he's actually regarded as a League 1 defender. Most of our defenders are, in truth, but they've all got potential. They're all young lads who could go on, develop this season, so hopefully they can. But Danny Finlayson also has been named our captain with that 13 leadership. Obviously our previous captain and vice captain both left. In fact, I think through the summer I went through something like 3 captains because I kept saying, do you want to renew your captain? And I kept giving it to people who it was selling, so I'd keep getting the option, basically. We then brought Aaron Livingston on loan, in on a free rather, from Motherwell. He's previously had a few loans. Decent player, not the best, but again a bit of potential. And good enough to be our backup left back, and I say backup because we've brought someone really, really good in for left back. It's obviously you've seen both Quatongo and McCourt have left. We brought Scott Robertson in on a free from Celtic again. Decent player with a lot of potential. Kind of about similar ability to Jack Purdue. See how he develops right now. But again, solid backup. We brought Brian Brewster in on a free from Dundee. He's away out on loan to Edinburgh City, obviously in the league below us again. I think that's maybe slightly above his level. I'm currently saying League 1, but again, decent potential there. Excuse me guys, I'm really sorry, I never record this late. and I'm not yawned until I started recording, obviously, so I thought it was fine. We brought Ian O2. I'm going to go with O2. He's a free transfer again from Celtic away. I'd say away out on loan. I'm trying to get him out on loan, but again in the reserves team just now. A lot of potential about him. He has never played a game, so see how he develops at 18. Craig Whiten comes in from Hearts on a free transfer. This is a big sign, 1.2k a week in wages, and a big signing here. And this was one of the ones that I targeted. Can play up top, and he's decent at that. But I am looking at him specifically as for our inside forward. As you see, he's got an injury already. Had a decent start with 4 games with one off the bench in the Betfred Cup. 2 assists and a goal for his efforts. But he is a solid player for this level. He's got bags of potential, and he's already a good player for the league. We then brought in George Oakley, also on a free. He was from Hamilton. He was on loan at Ayr last season. Solid striking option, but he's a target man, and I want to try a target man in this formation, and this was a good opportunity to do that. Being semi-risk free, he's on £750 a week, so it is a bit of a risk, but I felt it was worth the risk. Unfortunately, got injured during the Betfred Cup, so he only played 1 game, and I've never really got to try him because I think it was only about 60 minutes of that for fitness reasons that he played. Michael Sparkles comes in from East Stirling. I paid a bit of money compensation wise for him, and he had 5-star potential at the time. He no longer has 5-star potential, so it's been probably a bit of a waste of money, but see how he develops. We brought Jack Thompson in for 7k from our Rangers. He's going to be our new backup ball winning midfielder. I feel like he's an upgrade on Will Graham, who I've been trying to get to loan out because I still feel he has potential. Jack Thompson more of a direct replacement or backup for Regan, who is extremely unhappy, wants to leave the club. I've named him vice captain and was very tempted to name him captain, and I've literally sent the entire team to go and speak to him, and I can't resolve it. He wants to leave. His contract's up at the end of the season. I'm kind of resigned to letting him go. We brought in Serge Attaque was the first one, but of this value. But I brought in Craig Sibaldi. He was with Ross County. They got relegated. £21,500 to get Craig Sibaldi in. 1.4k a week's a bit of an expense, but he's absolutely outstanding, isn't he? For this level, brilliant player. 26 years old, so he's not the youngest. You see, good player for most championship sides, and he just covers everything for us. And so far, 7.7 rating in the Betfred Cup over 3 games. He's been probably our best player. It's a player that I've said when, you do the commentary to yourself even when you're not recording, sometimes in your head, and Sebald is the name that's came up most in games. Then broke our transfer record previously with Nick McAllister to bring Serge Attaque back to the club. He's played 2 games, a further 2 off the bench with a goal and an assist to his name. But we know what Serge Attaque brings. He's not really got that 5-star potential anymore, but he's still got a bit of potential about him. He'll certainly do for this season, maybe next. I'm really happy to bring him in. He is our highest earner though at 1.7k per week, which I think if I didn't sign him right at the start of the window, or actually before the window even opened, I might not have paid that. Next up is Lewis Strapp, and he is now our record-breaking transfer. 70k to bring him in, up to 92k. No sell-ons though, so that's good. But Lewis Strapp is absolutely outstanding. I already get him trained on a long bullet throw because that would add something to our attacking dynamic. His physicals maybe leaves a bit to desired, but going forward, his tackling, everything you sort of look for in a fullback, apart from his physical, is there. I'm very excited to see him. Obviously, we signed him in the Rangers save, so I kind of know what I'm expecting to see from him. He never really developed in that save, unfortunately, but hopefully can come and develop for us. But as you see, already at Championship level, potential to be Premiership level, and he was at Morton, who obviously stayed in division below. We then got a double loan from Aberdeen. Jordan Houston comes in, a defender I am very, very fond of. He was very, very good for me. I think in FM20, my Rangers save, it was absolutely outstanding. Was my backup right back. Looked a bit better than this, to be truthful, but he's got that potential, and he's already sort of there and thereabouts for our right back slot, which I'll show you the other options in a minute. We also got Conor McClellan in on loan. I wanted to sign him. Unfortunately, he signed a new contract with Aberdeen, which is a real pain. He's also got injured, but he's got 3 goals in 1 start and 1 off the bench for us. Absolutely outstanding player. Again, he will play left, but again, he can cover right and through the middle if needs be. Outstanding talent is Conor McClellan. I'm glad to have got him in on loan. But then brought Lewis Morton in on a free from Dundee. With our defensive situation, we had one left-sided centre back, and I like to have two of every position, as most people will know. So I was looking for one. The guy, I think it was Ross County Adair, I was trying to get. Excuse me. But I wasn't willing to pay 30 grand for him. And Lewis Martin was available on a free, so I nicked him up. His position is maybe a little bit left to be left desired, but you're not going to get a perfect defender at this level. Staff reckon he's a slight step up from Aidan Wilson. I'm probably going to rotate them throughout the season, and we'll see who does better. But only £450 a week is an absolute steal. We then managed to keep Brad Lyons. He is now our player. He's came in on £625 a week on a free from Blackburn. Of course, played for us last season on loan. And he's made the move permanent. He's now a natural right winger, but he has played up top for us off the bench during the Betfred Cup due to injuries. We've got injuries all over the park, but I say all over the park. Three positions have been really hit: inside forward, the striker, and the left back position. Obviously, White covering two of them on his own has really left us a bit stranded, despite having three options for some of those positions. But it's meant that Brad Lyons has played up top for us now as well. But he's played fairly solid. I'm fairly content with how Brad Lyons is doing, and he will be brilliant competition for Attaque, and I think they will push each other on, and they're both very different, you know. Lyons is much more technical, whereas Attaque is much more about that burst of speed. So we've got different options for different games. We've then got from Southampton, rather. I'm just going to call him Ode. Or Ollie. We'll go with Ollie. We're going with Ollie because I've got no idea how to pronounce that name. But he comes in from Southampton anyway. One of you might have been able to pronounce it. But the Nigerian right back, again, his crossings leaves a lot to be desired. His dribbling's not great. He's on decent money at £925 a week. But he also had a loan at St Mirren in the Premiership last year where he done very well. My staff reckon he is currently operating at Championship level, but as you see, 5-star potential. I think he could be a very, very good player for us. Jackals Hegarty got injured, and Mullen, as much as I liked him at the start of last season, I didn't particularly trust him. So I brought in Andre Mastene from Man United on a free. His agent approached me and said he was looking for a club, and that's kind of why I went for him. There was a couple of options that I had, but he was the one that sort of won the toss. £350 a week. Played 4 Betfred Cup games with, does it say how many conceded? 3 conceded, and then 6.82. One of those goals he conceded was an absolute shocker of a time. But again, I'm very happy to bring him in. He will be a sort of backup goalkeeper for Hegarty, but with the potential to be a Premiership goalkeeper in the future. We then got Conor McGrandles, and again, this was one where the agent came to me, and at this point I was done. I was done for business. And his agent came to me and said, do you want to sign me? Sign him. And I went, Conor McGrandles has got quite a good history, so I brought him in on trial. He's played 1 Betfred Cup game so far, but he covers so many positions. Again, a good Championship player on £725 a week, which is very, very good for a player of this quality. Covers, you know, all across our midfield, and he can play every single one of those roles fairly content. So I've brought him in, and finally we've brought in Umaro Balde, who's another right back option because I want to try a few different options. He's a much more defensive option than both Houston and Ollie. Again, fitness, physicals maybe have a bit of an issue. Slightly better than Lewis Strapp on the other side, but he can also cover all our central midfield roles should we need. So he covers a bit of everything, and he is on a free from Rangers on £525 a week. So that leaves us with our wage budget at £23,664. It's about £3,000 more than I wanted to be spending, but we obviously try and trim that down. I'm still trying to sell Andy Murdoch, Mark Lamont, get Will Graham out on loan, Campbell Notley out on loan. Aidan Wilson's a bit unhappy because of a transfer bid that I rejected. To be fair, it was nowhere near an acceptable value. We've got 6.8 million of our transfer budget remaining, of course, but we're down to 8.5 million in the bank, so we do need to steady our spending a little bit. of course that should be 3.5, but somebody boobed with the database or didn't get it right, so it was not consistent enough. Already lost 344,000 this season. That is not good enough. Our schedule, if we go to schedule and we have a look, see our attendances. Our one big game, had 2 home games against probably 2 of the worst teams we could have. Alloa are our division, to be fair, but you will see there that we beat Kilmarnock and we're unbeaten, which means we have progressed in the Betfred Cup, and we played Brecon, who are in League 2, in the next round. But as you can see, we played Stranraer, we won 2-0. Jack Purdue and Conor McClellan with the goals there. George Oakley picked up the injury in that game. We then played Kilmarnock. Conor McClellan scored a brace. Jack Grimmer getting a late consolation for them before we played Alloa. Kevin Crawley getting 2 goals for them. One of them was that shocker that I mentioned. He literally headed it from 20 yards and the goalkeeper managed to misjudge it. He got a hand to it and it was pathetic. But Jamie Burjonis, a Brad Lyons hat-trick, and Craig Whiting on the score sheet there before we played Stenhouse Muir, where we won 3-0. Another injury there, you see Craig Whiting going down, Serge Taki, Sean Ardarqua and Regan Thompson for his first goal in 39 games according to the commentary, which I thought was outstanding, because I always seem to see him doing the business for us, but that meant that we won Group G unbeaten and went through. Kilmarnock failed to go through. Brecon, I'm not sure how they've got through, and we'll see if I can see what group they're in. They went through with 9 points, equal points on Dundee United. That's absolutely crazy, knocking Inverness out in the process. So we cannot underestimate them. And they actually drew to Borough, who are non-league, in the process of that. They beat Dundee United, wow. We cannot underestimate them by any stretch. Beat Inverness on penalties as well. So we cannot underestimate this Brecon side. But I'm going to leave this episode here, guys. The next episode we're playing the opening game of the season against Partick Thistle. I'll hopefully catch you all for that next time.